political discussions and political debates are full of frames. And in fact, one of the, I think, most successful rhetorical strategies for individuals engaging in a policy debate, particularly politicians, is to try to frame the issue, construct the issue in a way that supports the outcome that you want. So I would argue that almost any issue, almost any discussion, almost any debate, we'll see framing, we will see evidence of framing among elected officials, politicians, and oftentimes the policy debate is really a debate over which frame is going to win, which frame is going to be the one that gets the most traction, has the most public support, as well as has the most support among the decision makers. So almost any issue I could see that happening. The recent healthcare reform debate, for example, was really in part a struggle over how important is it to provide health insurance and health care to Americans who currently don't have any, versus things like whether the government should become more involved in healthcare decisions, size of government. Those were just a couple of the competing frames in that debate. For most policy issues, they're actually competing frames. And so to determine whether the framing is going to impact public opinion, you need to figure out which frames are out there, which are being put forth, which ones are being covered by the news media, which ones are actually then have the opportunity for the public to learn about. There are other issues, though, where really one frame sort of dominates. And a good example of that would be discussion of civil liberties in the wake of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, where national security concerns and protecting the homeland became the dominant frame. It became the frame that most government officials were putting out. It also was the frame that resonated most with the American public in the immediate aftermath, as well as for at least a couple of years after that. So those that were opposed to restricting civil liberties in the wake of 9/11 had a very hard time breaking through and getting their frame to resonate with the public and actually to be heard and to get it covered in the news media. So sometimes some debates, one side, one frame will be heavily dominant for a variety of different reasons. But most of politics, it's a process of competing frames where both sides are trying to win, trying to get their side, to win their side of the policy proposal. And they're trying to determine the most appropriate frame to do so.